imagine if school shopping was annoying dealing with boys. I can only imagine school shopping when you have a daughter who needs the socks, the shoes, the hairdo, the dress, the pants, the undergarments. How is that? Let me, I'm gonna phrase that. I'm gonna ask y'all about y'all school back to school experience. I want to say salute to all your kids that are going back to school. We got a high schooler, and I think we got a middle schooler this year. What? But I'll be controversial. What is the father's responsibility, and how do child support play a role? Okay, well, you're going for the throat. First question the other night, y'all have been waiting on this all night. I would definitely tank out on this conversation. Come on, Chris.
Well, what I would say is this: I have to be full disclosure. I've never been under child support, so I speak from a level of ignorance when I'm talking because I've never been under child support. I've never had a baby and then the woman ran to the slave catcher and put me in the bond and put me back into bondage. So I don't know how that actually feel. For me personally, I believe that I get a thrill. I get a sense of peace. I get a sense of happiness from being able to provide, school stuff for my daughter. I mean, I remember how it used to be for me. My grandma, we used to go shopping. School got out in June, we'll go school shopping in maybe the end of June at Kmart and put everything on layaway. Some of the worst type of clothes and shoes and stuff like that. So school shopping used to be traumatic for me coming up. So I never wanted that to be, the case for my daughter. So, but what I will say is I put school shopping in 3 tiers. My sole responsibility, shared responsibility, and things that I just won't do. Now, for me personally, I think my sole responsibility, again, I'm talking from a level of bias here, and having a girl, school supplies I think that's a dad job. Book bag, I think that's a dad job. What else? And sneakers. I think those are, I think those are dad jobs. But I think it's shared is, the clothes and all that other stuff. Pretty much past that, all that stuff is shared to me. And then things that I won't do, I just ain't going buying drawers with my daughter. That's where I just draw the line at. I'm not going to Victoria's Secret with her. I'm not buying any underpants. So I leave that completely up to a mama. But for me personally, I think book bag, supplies, sneakers. I think that those are some of the most crucial elements of back to school, and I want to be responsible. I take that responsibility on solely myself. But as far as the whole experience, man, I think it keeps you in tune with the child. You start to learn what they like to wear and what you automatically know their schedule because you're working off of a supply list, so that it keeps you in tune. Sometimes when you're not the primary, you're not the custodial parent, sometimes you can, some of the information isn't given to you. Well, I won't say given to you, is not available as openly as the custodial parent. So it keeps you in touch with the child. As far as child support, like I said, I'm biased to that because I've never been on child support. So I would like to ask you guys who are the child support alumni. I would like to say,
watch your mouth.
I have a lot of homeboys that feel as though, hey, take it out of child support. You sit me, you put them people on me. You decided that this is what it is. You take it out of that. Again, I don't know how it feels for somebody to manage my money for me and gets to take it from me and get to do anything that they want to, something that I can do myself. So I really wanted to ask you guys how you guys handle it because I'm not a part of that club. Not to say there's nothing bad about it, but I just ain't a part of that club.
Mario, do you mind if we go to Zay first before we speak as the veterans in the club? Come on, Zay. Xavier, go ahead.
Hey,
I've already warned y'all about y'all comments.
Listen, I ain't worrying about no damn comments, man. The truth is the truth. But I'm in gladiator school, so when it comes to that, I am the father that is currently on the child support out of the group of us who has to tackle this problem. And I'm going to say to you like this, Chris, in a perfect world, to your homeboys who pay child support is supposed to take care of the child's needs. At least that's what they told us. And technically, if you want to be technical by the court, you don't have to do anything else. But as Horace alluded to when we first started, we are what we perceive to be great fathers. So we're going to go above and beyond that call. So some of the things that you mentioned, the sneakers, we take a joy in making sure that we get our daughters the sneakers, the ones that we wanted when we were growing up, but the ones that they want versus the ones that you have to get. But my caveat to that is my mother's still around. So you know what I do? I still let her get some of them horrible things for school that we had to get, because I think that's the balance, you know what I'm saying, to let her know that the privilege that she has versus what it could be, so that you understand that you're not gonna always get your way, but you're gonna make sure that you be covered. Might not be the best clothes or the best name brand clothes that you would like, but it's gonna be good, clean clothes, and they'll still be new. So you got to give them that balance. So I always love to see that. But yeah, it's a joy. I don't mind going to get those things. I actually enjoy it because it does give me a chance to one-on-one time with my daughter. And unlike you, Chris, I don't mind taking my daughter to go get underpants and things like that, because I gotta make sure that, listen, when it comes to that, I got to make sure that she's good. You know what I'm saying? I may not know the specifics, so I'll ask. Fortunately for me, I have a lot of women in my family, so I can kind of ask these questions. And then I have lady friends that are help in the area where she may not be comfortable to speak with me on getting those said undergarments. But me providing them for her, I don't mind. I'll go in the store, hold the bag, sit in the corner. It doesn't matter to me. It's no biggie. But just making sure, though, ultimately, at the end of the day, though, that our baby girls, because we have girls, are taken care of, is, I think, what the father's responsibility is at the end of the day. Like I said, sometimes it sucks. I've been drawn into where I've been trying to money manage and things like that, but wisdom has taught me, forget it. If it's for them, just get it, be done with it, save yourself. Don't even try to have that debacle with women, because that's logical. And they're going to get emotional on you, and you're definitely going to lose that. So before you lose your sanity, just go ahead and lose them couple dollars and keep it pimping with pimping. That's the best way that I can tell any father to go ahead with that.
So where do you draw the line? What did you got to draw the line somewhere? Somewhere you stand, something you stand
when I say no.
Line.
No, when I say no, but at the end of the day, you got to understand. So as us being men, we lead. So I know exactly what she needs. You know what I'm saying? I think too many times we get caught up on trying to appease, trying to make sure that it work on both sides. And it don't work like that on the reverse for fathers. So as a man, you got to look at this and say, all right, what do I need to cover for her? And make sure you cover just those things. That's it. Anything above and beyond is two of us made them. I feel like the other half can get that. If I've gotten, my half or what I deem to be necessary for my child, and you see that I missed something, pick up the slack. I don't think that's hard, and I don't think it should be an argument. I think it's pretty simple. But again, that's how I think. People may think different. But again.
Mario, you heard all this rhetoric in here, man?
I heard it. I heard it.
I'm gonna give it to Mario. Hey, I'm gonna give it to Mario because y'all live my life. Y'all seen my tears. Y'all seen firsthand the transparency that I had. Listen,
it's not easy.
What helped me with my trauma was the fact that I put the kids first. No matter how I felt about it, it's always about the kids. And I was paying $900 at one time. And I remember it got up to $1,100 on a $40,000. The more I made, the more they adjusted. It ain't in our favor. So the child support system, believe women, men, they don't care about either one of us. It's a good stream of revenue. But as far as the overnight, I don't agree with the situation where, unless you're paying some astronomical, like $5,000 a month, I don't believe I could say to a woman, hey, take it out of child support, simply because you're giving her a lot of trust as well. And you don't want to create a situation where you're allowed to be looked at. Most baby mom situations are bad anyway. So your kid, a lot of times, I paid all that. I could not look at Tyler and say I couldn't get the shoes, even though God just blessed me to be able to make shit happen when I didn't have a clue of how it's going to happen. But I never, and they don't appreciate it to this day, but the point is, Paying child
That's them
support.
kids, though.
The boy played lacrosse. He played baseball. I wanted to say, hey, take it easy, son. Sit out for a season. Baseball, football. He played every goddamn thing. And then he kept growing. The boy had like a size, whatever, you know what I mean? And to this day, I had to tell him now, at one time I was getting his shoes from over in China. But I had to do what I had to do to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But the point was, I made sure. Yeah, they made sure they never felt what we were going through. You know what I mean? It was a time where I wanted to drive my truck through a house, but I made sure they never seen it, you know, at least on my part, bro. So that's my advice, if any, or just my part to share. I'm going to give it to the wisest.
You supposed to be gave it to him the first time, and then the spirit took over you.
He
did a whole monologue.
I need therapy
the first time.
I need therapy, bro. I went back there, y'all. I was crying, boy, a lot of days. When you think you didn't work them extra hours and think you about to get a bonus check, and then it'd be like, wait,
Snatch.
how they knew about it?
Snatch.
Where my money at?
That happened to me. I know how that go.
My Christmas money,
Still,
my tax return, my bonus money.
So you still feel, even though they taking extra bonus money, you still don't feel like child just take it out of child support.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's my decision to have that child with that person.
And Chris, you got also 2-1. I'm gonna admire your honesty, because that drive that truck through the through the house, I heard you, and I feel you, brother. I feel you. But I'm gonna say this, Chris, as a man, and you should understand this because you preach this a whole lot. At the end of the day, that child don't know nothing about that like that for real. They do know who did what because of what they see. Damn what you told them. So you got to always be the example. And it hurt like hell, but who said that being a man was easy? Exactly. So you got to take them in stride, and nobody don't care about how we feel. We've already established that. So it is what it is. You might as well at least make the ones that you care about, that you feel like care about you, at least see you as Superman or whoever it is that you deem necessary for them.
Okay, but before Hard It Goes, we're gonna have to. I mean, after Hard It Goes, we got to tell how we feel about the guys that feel that way, that actually feels that child support, take it out of child support. But I'd like to hear what you got to say, Hardy.
I'm sorry, Hardy. Go ahead, man. Give us some wisdom.
Yeah, I don't really got none. You know, I lost a long time ago. So I see people. You know, I'm the guy that came back from the war with no legs. So I don't. So when people say they crying to me, I don't hear that shit, because I never had a chance to not be on child support. Right. My baby was born on the 4th. I was on child support on the 7th. So I never had a chance.
Oh, he froze not at this time. Roll time to freeze.
I know you're saying some wise things right now.
That might
help a couple guys get through.
That might be the FCC.
Well, they involved.
All right, come back to me, man.
What you call it in a sniper?
Yeah, because you know what the worst part is? They just passed a law that you get on child support when the baby in the belly.
In Atlanta or in Georgia, I mean.
Google it. No, you can be on child support for the baby's born. That thing they just passed it last week. Hard to come back, my man.
I think that was just in the state of Georgia, but
I don't know where it was.
I'm just saying, like, bro, like sometimes I think that we as men we use finances as discipline too. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't is again, I'm not on child support, so I don't know. Is it okay to reward irresponsible financial behavior? Because some people that I talk to a lot of men that's on child support, and a lot of men feel that take it out of child support. You decided to go down there and make this happen. You put the slave catchers on me. You decided this. Then this is what you get. You have to manage this. And why is it? Should we not require the parent that took over the child, that chose to take over the child? Should we not require them to be fiscally responsible with the money?
Bro, let's be honest. Let's be honest. In my situation, I just took it on the chin and said, "This is listen. Once you know who you're dealing with, I mean, what you gonna do? I had at that time, I would say with Ken, I ain't gonna call the mama name, but she asked me to be with her. I said no. 3 days later, that damn letter came in the mail, and I'm like, I'm raising him, and it put me on child support, and I'm raising him, right? And then that's when I found out the support system. Like anybody need child support help, I am the guru. Like I went through it for so much, but I was raising my kid, right? And then I found out in Florida, until you go to court and establish it, the mother is the custodial parent. So when I'm talking to the people, like he stays here, he's with me. All of that, it didn't matter. I had to go to court and establish that. And also, man, it's just not in your favor as a man. We should know that anyway. We should know that anyway, bro. It's not in your favor. So when I realized that, it got so bad that I started making more money. I stayed on child support just because I didn't want to go to the courts no more. Remember that day? I paid child support even though I had them with me. Yeah. I just didn't want to go to court. Every time I went to court,
you lose.
The bullshit. Oh, rearages. I'm like, I ain't never missed a payment. Oh, she was due for adjustment and this and that. And I was like, so nah, man, you can't win in that situation. But at the end of the time, I put myself in that situation, and I ain't never want my kids to go without. Even when I hustled, I bought a place, bought a car just for my kids to live good, drive around good, and you would thought that would have got me some support. But you know what? Nope. Child support, and that's what worked in my favor. So when she went to court, the judge was like, he doing this, and that. I won the case, but that appeal, that nasty appeal.
But isn't that weaponized child support? Like, you have a responsibility to be fiscally responsible. That's your responsibility. You decided to be the custodial parent. That associates with more bills. It just does. Because it's your choice. You can easily give up that child and let that father do it, and chances are great that father won't be asking you for all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think on the other side, like, again, I've never been on child support, but I think on the other side, man, it's would the mother blindly give money without question and then facilitate whatever shortcomings that the father may have? You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? The father may have a weed issue. When we give child support, we never know so a lot of times we don't know where that money go, and it gets put all inclusive to everything facet of the life. So would you think if the woman knew that the man had a weed habit, using child support money on it, do you think she would facilitate school clothes after that? You know what I'm saying? Like, is we weaponizing child support?
Yeah, because listen, how many, let's be honest, how many stories you heard where once the dude say he didn't want to be with the person anymore, here come the child support.
Head on arrival.
Here come the attachment, you know what I mean?
Or can you blame the men that say take out of child support?
Huh?
Can you blame the men that say take it out of child support when that was done to them?
No, but you got to also understand something, Chris, with some of those guys who saying take it out of child support. Everybody's pockets are not the same. That might be all that man has, and he still has to make sure for his other bills, like you said, nobody's covering or checking for him. And the point that you made about them being fiscally responsible, in a perfect world, that would happen. But unfortunately, we're not in a perfect world. So as a man, you can't even focus your mind on that, because you will run yourself crazy. Just make sure that you're just paying it. It don't matter if you're paying it late or whatever. Something is better than nothing. Just pay it. You know what I'm saying? And do what you can. That's the best way to everything's about mental health. You got to make sure that this is right, because they'll run you crazy. Especially when it comes to money. I'm sorry, ladies, but when it comes to women and money, hey, man, they will run you crazy. They feel like men should always have it at all times and everything else like that. They don't give a care about your bills or what them being fiscally responsible. Whenever one ever worried about really being fiscally responsible?
Nah, this is not a man's world. Mario.
Yeah, my bad. I'm in my office and I was working on my computer. And I don't know what that motherfucker just started over.
I don't know. He turned it to the whole. FCC then said, no, we can't let this get out.
That motherfucker just started. I'm talking about the whole computer just started over. I'm like, God. Yeah. Somebody said,
I thought the Decepticons came and got you. God.
My baby mama must got a job at the Wi-Fi company.
Yeah.
Won't let this get out.
Our efforts is to make sure the kids don't have the same trauma. So that's why I say put the kids first. Mario, what did you have to chime in on?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that in the end of the day, I learned early on it don't matter. See, I said once I got put on child support, I said, dang, at the end of the day, everything's supposed to be for the child, right? So when you go to court, the court system treats you like nothing you do, it's not for the child. It's being mandated that you have some support, right? So they come up with a number. Most of the times that number is not astronomical. Most of the time that number is minimal because they just want you to be able to say they're doing something to contribute to the person who they giving like assistance to, right? But the only thing bad about that is this. A lot of dudes do. I do hear a lot of dudes saying, get out of child support, but I pay my bills now. So I understand, unless you're getting hit across the head, which it take a lot, because you got to have a good job in child support. I'll be real. You have to have a good job in the child support market to get hit across the head. So if you're not making no money, you're not getting hit across the head. Because I've been on child support with no job, hustling. I've been on child support with a good job. I've been on child support with a bad job. So you know what I'm saying? So I done been through every level of my life on child support. So I know that when I first was on child support, it was the principle that had me mad. I was young. So I was like 18, 19. So I felt like I'm going to do whatever for my daughter. So my daughter never not suffered. I just didn't pay child support. I was like, fuck that. You're not going to tell me to have to pay. Then I learned very quickly, you won't have no license, and you always be on the run, and you be in high-speed chases all the time, and you're always going to get pulled over, and you can't really do nothing without no license. So let me pay child support. And then when I did that, I understand I lost. It's that argument over. I lost. From that day forward, me and my baby mama at that point in time didn't have a good relationship. So I'm the kind of person is if I can't talk to you, it don't matter what I do, but I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. So that day forward, shit, I did everything. I bought everything like she was gonna buy nothing. So I bought the book bag, I bought the shoes, I bought the clothes, I did her hair, I did everything like she was not gonna do nothing. And a lot of times she had 2 book bags. She might have had 2 appointments, but because I don't have to talk to you. See, I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm not arguing. I'm smart. You don't have to. Once the stove, somebody tell me the stove is hot, I don't have to keep touching it and saying I don't know why I'm touching it. It's hot, so I'm not going back there. It don't matter why. It don't matter how. It shouldn't be hot. Somebody should have turned it off. You can say all that all you want to. It's hot. Don't touch it. So once I learned that every school year we're arguing about stuff that don't matter. It don't matter who right or wrong. Let me do what I can do. So I have this amount of money. Spend all this money on my daughter. And I feel like when I walked away, I did what I was supposed to do. Now, my baby mama might have thought I didn't. Her parents might have thought I didn't. Child support might have thought I didn't. But in my heart, me sleeping at night, I did. I was freshly. So my baby mama never, she could tell you, we argue about a lot of stuff. But one thing we never argue about is just taking care, is financially taking care of Jayla when it came to clothes, shoes, and food. Now, we might argue about other stuff that she felt like I should have did, but when it came to clothes and shit, I wanted to buy clothes. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I live by this code. I don't think that no one should pay someone else to parent. I think that parenting is a labor of love, and you don't get paid for it. I personally take on the responsibility of saying whatever her bills are is my responsibility. If anything that comes from that school, the hair, the facials, all those things that a bill accrues for her, I'm willing to take care of it. You know, that's it, because she doesn't live with me the majority of the time, so I take on that. As far as school supplies and stuff like that, I take pride in being able to buy the book, to be the book bag dad, the supplies dad, the sneaker dad. I take pride in that, but I'm not letting you off the hook. You facilitate also. I buy other stuff. Like the only thing I don't buy is the drawers. I just feel weird about that. But Jorge, what'd you say?
No, I was gonna say one thing, and I'm giving back. You taught me this about being a big brother. Being a man is a sucky job at times. The world is upon you. If you're looking for validation and applause for stuff, it ain't gonna happen. That's just straight up. But I will tell you, me personally, younger me, bro, I just put my head down and got to work, and just say time will happen, and that's what happened. I was just like, let me do what I can, start working more hours, like do the best I can. Because think about it, I'm paying child support, but I got a whole nother relationship. You know what I mean? Like I got another family I'm trying to build with, and then I got these obligations. But what I did learn, and anybody will tell you, I learned the laws, and the laws have gotten better from when me and Mario was on it. Because boy, let me tell you, I seen a dude when me and Zay worked down in Citibank down there. But you see, that's what the original child support office was, and they didn't give you no warning. They took it all. They took all the money. You know what I'm saying? So what I learned that, like Jessica said, time sharing. I learned the legal system of it. Oh, that's when I started getting good, bro. And then I found out, I ain't gotta have no attorney. I can go down and tell them my financial situation, and because I'm a taxpayer, I can sign these papers and file my cases. And I went in there and asked for a modification. I went in there and went for time sharing, that and then I went back and went for custody. So men, if you really in Florida law, they don't even recognize you until you legally go in there and do what you need to do. So when I learned that, life got a little bit better, and baby mama started acting better too, because she ain't had the power that she once did. But I always put those kids first, because I didn't never want them to grow up talking about what daddy didn't do, because that was the stuff that I said about my parents.
Put up Siobhan's previous comment, not that one, the one previous to that. Yeah, she's saying it's priceless. No, it's not, because the court system put a price on it. The second thing is, this custodial parent thing, I get it. I understand what you're saying. Now, I've never done it for over a year. I've done it in spurts, summers, school breaks. I do weekends and stuff like that. But at the same time, Siobhan don't know how it feels to have to say goodbye to your child, to drop your child off. I get so... dog, on Sunday when I drop my child off, dog, I get emotional, bro. That hour-long drive coming back to Orlando, dog, that shit hurts. Saying goodbye hurts. You know what I'm saying? Not the guy that tucks in your child at night, it hurts. So I get what you're saying, that it's bad. It's tough being a custodial parent, but you wouldn't want to trade that shit for what dads have to deal with. You wouldn't have to trade that shit for taking your child back home and just having to say goodbye every time. Man, you wouldn't trade it for weekends. You wouldn't trade it for summer vacations. You wouldn't trade that shit. You get to see all these different stages of development. But for us, it's like on the outside, and then we always blaming ourselves, like, well, damn, I did this. Man, no, you wouldn't trade that shit, man. So I get what she's saying, but being a dad,
man.
But no, man, you wouldn't want I guarantee you wouldn't switch shoes. You damn sure wouldn't get that child to that father, and you be the one coming to pick them up on the weekend and then dropping them back off and drop every weekend. You got to be super dad to cover up for a fucking whole 5 days that you just missed. This now, but on Saturday and Sunday, because the hair appointment is on Saturday, that took half of your Saturday up. And now Sunday, 6 o'clock, you're taking her back before she could be at home at a decent time. You wouldn't want to trade that shit, man. That shit fucking hurts.
But what's crazy about that, Chris, is they don't think about that. But again, it's who felt it knows. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, you said about if they're not able to take care to get, relinquish custody to the parent that can't, they're not going to do that. It's what Horace said. It's that power thing. And plus the benefits that comes along with it. Not saying that that's the sole reason that women have kids or anything like that, but it's a lot of perks that come to that custodial parent. So it's a very touchy situation. You won't get it, but you did hit the nail on the head with the hammer. We're trying to cram what you guys get the privilege of, and I need you to understand, ladies, that is a privilege. Because if you ask a lot of guys, yes, some of them will shy away, but a lot of us will step up and be like, come on, bring it here, give it here. If it's such a burden to you, if you feel that way, if you need that, bring them here, and then the conversation changes. Then you know what I'm saying? It doesn't. It's not the same oomph that you were giving when I had to do this. I got to do that. Let me take that burden up off of you as a man. That's a whole nother other situation. So we won't even enter that. But you got to think about those things, or at least keep them in consideration when you do have guys that are doing. But I digress. I don't want to run long. I know we got other topics that we want to touch on tonight.
Well, let's be 100. You have to be accountable for the decisions that you make. And if you
Facts.
think you got a bad baby mama, a lot of Negroes put their joy juice in the most crazy, unstable people ever, right? So yeah, you got to pay for that. I paid for that. I'm gonna tell you one thing I did, and men got to pay for keeps too. I stayed in a relationship 5 years longer than I should have. You know why? Because at that young age that my kids were growing up, I wanted my kids that was 0 to like 6 years. I wanted my kids to know me. You know why? I couldn't handle the thought of my kids being under somebody else's roof. So think about that.
Don't get
I stay in a relationship because listen, my kid, they can't communicate with me his feelings or thoughts. I don't know what's going on in that house. I got to trust this woman. I didn't want to put my kids in a situation where they growing up in another damn household under somebody else's roof. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I stayed in a relationship until they got to an age where at least they could communicate, and hell, especially nowadays, fellas, think about that. Women make bad choices with men. Let's be honest.
Facts.
Sorry, I'm gonna say that. Your kid that she take care of is gonna be on that roof or be around people that you might not know about because she ain't gonna tell you. And that's a lot of trust. And when it came to my kids, I would not trust my kids. Y'all remember my kids they didn't stay the night at nobody's house. That's how I was. I was so traumatized. I didn't even want to change. I tried to prevent my kids from being fondled, mishandled, abused, molested. So we got to think about these decisions we making when we dropping that joy juice into some of these people. So I bit the bullet, and yeah, child support, raising them kids was a sucky time in my life. It was fucking horrible. But the joy came making sure those kids didn't have the trauma that I had. All I complained about, I go to my mom, hey, I need this. Go to your daddy. Go to my daddy, go to your mama. Okay, well, fuck me. I don't want my kids to go through that.
Every time.
I didn't want to go through that.
I might not agree with my BM all the time, but I'm not. I don't get put through all that shit, man. So don't play on my top, man. Shut that shit up. I don't want to hear that. Let's go to the next topic. We ain't gonna hear this frantic cat club member. I don't want to hear that shit.
Of course, y'all love it. The crazier, the better. That's all she heard from that. All of that transparency, and that's all she heard.
It was nothing from the juicy lip bandit.
Let's wait a minute. I should have swallowed the joy juice with my life. You could have. It do prevent breast cancer.
You chose. It's all about choices. Didn't Horace just say that? We chose. You chose.
Daily protein shakes.
Yeah. Listen, they do. I told somebody they ain't understand. I do think that it is a benefit to the male having some years with the child.